Hello and welcome back, fellow soldiers. The developers briefing number 70 already dropped today, and of course we're gonna have a closer look at it. If you want to read it yourself, feel free. I always include the link right to the developers briefing on Steam down below in the description of the video. Now, before we start with having a closer look at the details of the developers briefing number 70, I just want to advise people that probably just subscribe to my channel and don't own Hell Let Loose yet to have a closer look at it. And I know this really sounds like an advertisement, but be sure I don't earn any money from this. I'm not affiliated with Hell Let Loose or the dev team. But I really do like the game. I really like the atmosphere and also the player base. The player base is very welcoming here, and I can really recommend this game to everybody that is in search of a strategic shooter and that wants to meet a very welcoming community. The game is really worth the money, and the devs are super involved also when it comes to the community. So the devs are looking that they have the community close to themselves so they can apply changes according to the community. So now enough publicity for this awesome game. Let's have a closer look at the developers briefing number 70 and just let it speak for itself. Hill 400, Bergstein. The battle for Hill 400 was the end of the Hurtgen campaign and the prelude to the Battle of the Bulge. The hill is the highest point in the Hurtgen area and was considered a strategic objective to both sides. The hill featured thick forest, steep slopes, and protruding rock. The Roer and Kahl rivers lay to the north and east. In medieval times, the mountain-like hill featured a castle, which was destroyed in the 1200s. To the west of Hill 400 is the town of Bergstein, whose church is built from some of the material of that castle. The Axis initially occupied Hill 400 and defended it from several attempts from the US 8th, 9th and 28th Infantry Divisions. Even the 5th and 47th Armored Division failed to take the hill. The Germans had dug in deep and used the hill to full effect for artillery, spotting and recon in all directions. That is how the developers briefing number 70 starts off, and as you have probably guessed by now, this developers briefing is all about a new map that is coming to us in the next update, number 6. And to give us, the player base, an idea of how the battle conditions will be as a soldier on that battleground, the developers included a description of Charles MacDonald that described the fighting at Hurtgen Forest in his book The Mighty Endeavour, and he is describing it as follows. The battle of the hedgerows all over again, only this time with freezing rain, sleet, snow, flood, mud and pillboxes and dense wood straight out of frightening German folk tales. It was the Argonne of World War II. And as a Battlefield 1 player myself, hearing a battleground being compared to the Argonne Forest sounds very promising to me. For all of you guys that aren't very familiar with the Argonne Forest battle, the battle at the Argonne Forest in World War I was part of the Maas Argonne Offensive, and that actually was one of the biggest battles in the First World War. Now, to be fully honest, I haven't heard of the battle for the Hill 400 in World War II yet. That is the Hill 400 map that is coming to us, but it being compared to a fight or a battle that was one of the biggest battles in the history of war sounds very promising to me, and I really do look forward to play this map. Now, as you have probably already seen on the screen, I showed you some pictures that the developers included in the developers briefing, and I will continue to show you more of these throughout this video today because the developers have been including a lot of pictures of the new map that is coming to us in update 6, that is Hill 400. And aside from the introduction to the new map that will meet in the next update, they also included some words from a level designer that has been working or had been working on the Hill 400 map. And in the developer's briefing, he's saying, "The work on Hill 400 has been an exercise of my care and understanding of nature. Growing up in the Ozark Mountains, I have a keen eye for what hills and forests look like. I am glad I got to put so much of my craft into Hill 400, as I believe handcrafted levels have a certain essence that players can respect, at least on a subconscious level. Overall, I think we accomplished another out-of-the-park hit that players expect from Hell Let Loose, and me being part of that, I can only have gratitude." And that's also exactly what we as the player base and the community feel for the developers. I think, if I can summarize it like that, for the whole community, the work that they put in is just amazing. And as we can see it from the statement of that level designer that is called Andrew, I think they also have a lot of fun building this game and they really put a lot of effort in it. Now, we've come close to the end of this week's developers briefing. One last thing that they mention concerning the next map, Hill 400 map, that is coming out in update number 6. And that is that there will be 2 different versions of that map that we can play depending on the mode that we are going to play the map. And those 2 versions will be the misty morning version and the overcast day version. So there will be 2 different moods that will be able to play the map in, and with the mood also the visibility and the flavor of the map changes. And that was something I was waiting for since the beginning I joined the Hell Let Loose community, that we get changing weather on the maps. And even though this is not real-time changing weather on this map, we will be able to play one map in 2 different weather conditions or moods and with different visibility. So this will make the gameplay even more interesting, and I really still hope for changing weather on the same maps in the upcoming future of the game. Maybe the developers are going to include that. I don't know how complicated that is or how much work that would be, so we'll just see if that works. And just so you know, throughout this video you've seen a variety of different screenshots from the new map, and if you are interested in seeing more screenshots, you can always click on the link of the briefing down below in the description. There you'll find even more screenshots in the original developers briefing. I haven't included all the screenshots in this information video here. And with this, I also close today's video. This was the developers briefing number 70. I hope you enjoyed the content I provided. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of the new map that is coming to us. And also let me know if you liked the content. Give the video a thumbs up if you did so, and subscribe to the channel. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see each other on the battlefield.